Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. I am so sorry it has been a while since I've actually posted a video, but life has been super busy, super crazy, and we just got back from vacay. So that is another reason why I haven't had a chance to sit down, do a video, because we've been really busy. But today, as you can see from the title, is gonna be another birth story because I really want to do all three children. And today is gonna be my middle child, Bryleigh. Bryleigh has kind of a unique birth story. A lot happened with her as well. I feel like every child and every birth has got their own unique story to it. I'm sure every mom feels that way. With Bryleigh, I got pregnant with her and didn't know I was pregnant. So backing up to that situation, we have been trying to get pregnant with Bryleigh for years. Bryleigh and Kayla are several years apart, and it just wasn't happening. So I went to my doctor, talked to him, and he told me that he wasn't sure why, but just keep trying, don't think about it so much, and it'll happen. Well, it just never did. Finally went in to see him because I was having this really severe abdominal pain in the lower part of my stomach. And I asked, what is this? And he did an ultrasound. And from what he gathered, he thought I had a bladder infection. He said, well, you need to take these antibiotics and things should clear up, and let me know how you're feeling in about a week. Me and my friends had planned to go to Busch Gardens when all this went down. But when I say the pain hit me like a ton of bricks, I was doubled over, could not stand up straight, even after taking the medicine. Of course, we didn't go to Busch Gardens because I wasn't better. We thought I would be. I continued taking the medicine. I called my doctor and I said, whatever you gave me is not working. I'm still in a ton of pain. We gotta figure out what's going on. So he called me back into his office. So we did another ultrasound and he said it looked like I had a fallopian tube that was enlarged. So he was assuming something was going on, maybe a blockage in there. And he told me, let's go ahead and schedule me for surgery to go in there, do a laparoscopic, clean out my fallopian tube, and hopefully that would resolve some of the pain issue I was having since medicine wasn't doing anything. I was like, okay. So at the time, I was doing nails. I did pedicures, manicures, acrylics, I did all that. So I was at work one night, actually the night before my surgery. Okay, and this was like a total guardian angel came down that night and helped me out. Let me explain. So I was giving a pedicure and my stomach was hurting so bad because I just stayed in pain, I really did. And I was bent over and I looked up at the lady because I had like an apron on. And I looked up at the lady and I said, look, I don't mean to be rude, but I'm in so much pain. Would it be really, really bad if I just unbuttoned my top button of my pants? And I know that sounded really odd, and I'm just an open person. It didn't bother me to ask, but I don't know how she felt about it. And she goes, no, honey, by all means, be comfortable. She was like, what do you mean your stomach's hurting? I said, well, this happened, that happened. My doctor thinks I have a blockage, blah, 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 blah. Of course, she goes, are you pregnant? I'm like, no, the doctor gave me 2 urine tests, a blood test. I've taken multiple at my house. I'm not pregnant. And she says, okay. She's like, well, when's your surgery? And I told her I went in the next morning for my surgery. She told me that before I go in for that surgery that maybe I should go buy one more pregnancy test. That night, I got off work and I thought about what she said. And I was like, well, there's no need to take another one, whatever. And I was on the way home and I decided to make a U-turn and go to the store and grab one. Something just kept telling me, do it. What's it gonna hurt? You waste a little money, whatever. It's just better to be 100% before going in. But granted, I had just had a blood test that said I was not pregnant, okay? Like a few days before that, so I knew there was no way I was. But anyway, went to the store, got my pregnancy test, went home, and didn't even wait till the next morning, which is probably the better time to take it. I took it right then. And as I sat there, I got one of the, just the cheapest one I could find. And all of a sudden I looked down and there's 2 lines. I'm like, what? So immediately freaked out, ran back to the store and bought another pregnancy test. This one was like 20 bucks, okay? The first one only cost me a couple dollars. I'm not even kidding. The second one was like 20, but it was the digital where it said pregnant, not pregnant. I wanted wanted to make sure I didn't buy a faulty test. So I ran back home, drank a ton of water, took the test, and I waited. It just sat there and flashed. And all of a sudden it pops up and it says pregnant. I could not believe it. I was like, what? Barry was not home at the time. And I was like, just on pins and needles waiting for him to get there. You know, I was like, hurry up, get home, get home. So he comes home and I'm like, you're not gonna believe this. And he's like, what? And I showed him the test. He was like, what? You're going in for surgery in the morning. No, you can't. I said, I'm calling the doctor right now and I'm gonna let him know. So I got off the phone with my doctor. That night I called him at home. So I called him and I said, look, I'm pregnant. He goes, no, you're not. No, you're not. I'm like, yeah, I'm pregnant. So I went in the next day. Sure enough, I was. There was a baby. And come to find out, the blockage in my fallopian tube was Bryleigh. And I'm so thankful and blessed that she came out of the fallopian tube and positioned where she should have been, because she literally was growing inside of my fallopian tube. It's very ironic. The doctor still was kind of puzzled on everything, but she was fine. She was great. No more pain, no more stomach aches. I felt wonderful as soon as she passed through my fallopian tube. So that's the beginning of my pregnancy story. This kind of turned into a pregnancy story, not a birth story. But I want to kind of touch on all of it. So that was the pregnancy portion. Rest of my pregnancy went great. Everything was fantastic. Came time to have birth. Of course, I knew I was scheduled C-section, no big deal. But I know when I conceived, because we had been trying so long and so hard. Every time I would write down this, that, in my menstrual cycle, everything, so I knew when I was gonna be possibly pregnant, when I could have gotten pregnant, and I know when I got pregnant. Well, my doctor said that he gave me a date of when she was gonna be delivered through C-section, and I told him that that was 2 weeks too early. He said, no, according to ultrasound, this is the timing. I'm like, no, according to when I know I got pregnant, you're 2 weeks early. And you know, they already back up your C-section a week. So she was almost 3 weeks early by the time we did that. Well, he didn't listen to me. And sure enough, she was born by C-section. The C-section was good. Everything went off fine. Very much similar to the first one, except the doctor didn't want to give me anything to relax me. And as I said in my previous video, I don't like being numb. That is the worst feeling ever. And they didn't give me anything with her. They just didn't help me out. And so that made that a really hard delivery for me. I couldn't relax, I couldn't enjoy it. But once she was born, of course, you know, everything goes out the window and you're so focused on your baby, you're not thinking about that. I was in a lot of pain after giving birth to her. But going back to why I knew she was born too early, number one, I wrote down when I conceived. It was 3 weeks off almost. And when she came out, she was 5 pounds and 4 ounces. She was completely pink, red. Her skin didn't look developed. Her eyes, her face, she had no fat on her. She was very tiny. She looked very preemie. I'm telling you guys, I know she was born too early, but they didn't listen to me. Kind of with all my pregnancies, nobody listens. But it's okay. Needless to say, she was born, she was healthy, she was good, everything was fine. She had a hard time eating, I guess from being preemie, I don't know, but she had a hard time eating, but we finally got her to eat, and all was well with her. As far as me, the recovery from Bryleigh was the hardest pregnancy by far, even including Aiden's. Aiden's was a breeze, but we'll get to that story eventually. But I was in so much pain that I remember after giving birth to her, I couldn't walk the next day. I couldn't use the bathroom on my own. Like, it was horrible. It was really bad. The pain was terrible. I remember coming home and trying to just lay her down in her bassinet, and my back would burn so bad that I couldn't even lean over to lay her down. It was really bad. I mean, as far as everything else, I'm very blessed. She was born, she was healthy. She might have been preemie. None of her clothes fit. We had to go out and literally buy her all new clothing because I didn't buy preemie clothes. I bought newborn clothing and none of it fit her. I mean, it was a mess. She's been little her whole life. That's what we always joke about. But now she's almost as tall as me, so they definitely catch up. But yeah, so as far as that pregnancy went, it was really good. Great pregnancy. It was hard in the beginning and hard at the end, because at the beginning, you know, she was stuck in my tube. But after I officially became pregnant everything was great, and then delivery was a little rough, I'm not gonna lie, and her being early. But overall, she's healthy, all is well. But yeah, that's my birth story with Bryleigh. And if you have any birth stories you want to share, feel free to share those down below. I'd love to hear from you guys and read about them. And you know, every birth story is different. It's crazy. No pregnancy is the same. There may be some women that their pregnancies all go off the exact same. All three of mine were completely different. And I can't wait to share Aiden's with you because that's a whole nother story in itself. He was my miracle baby. I kind of like Bryleigh was, but his is a whole nother story. But guys, make sure you give the video a like. Don't forget to comment down below. Also, subscribe please to my channel. That way you can definitely hear Aiden's story because I want to share that one with you as well. And I'll see you in my next video. Take care.